Oh
Yeah, what you got
man.
planned today? What you got going?
Today, on the show I'm debating a liberal, and I think he's
Oh,
actually entertaining. His name's Joe Brown. He's in here. He's actually entertaining because he's like extra aggressive. He don't know what he be talking about half the time, but it's okay. He's right here. And also I'm having a cookout at my house around like 4:30. So if you live anywhere near Greensboro, North Carolina, you could always pull up on me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I saw your tweet about that. Yep.
Yeah, I'm invited. If y'all want to pull up, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you want to pull up to attack me, I wouldn't suggest that, but, be my guest to do that also. But, you know, if anybody want to pull up, yes, sir. If you're near Greensboro, NC, then holla at me.
I'll drop the link to this tweet so anybody in the area can drop you a line.
Yes, let's do it.
Well, cool. I'm looking forward to the debate.
Oh, yeah. See,
sir.
Okay, so, Joe, you can introduce yourself, bro. Your mic is muted. I don't know if you know how to unmute it, but your mic is muted, bro.
It's down. Yeah, you got it.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's good to see you again. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. Happy birthday, by the way. That's interesting that we're doing this today. So
yes, sir.
Hope you enjoy it.
Yes, sir.
Of course. So basically, I'm Joel Brown. Bryson and I had a recent encounter about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was a 2 versus 2 debate on abortion, and that was fun, to say the least. It lasted kind of a long time. I think my partner and I destroyed Bryson and his partner, but I mean, he seems to think differently, and I'm sure we'll talk about that during this conversation as well, among other things. So, I think, honestly, I'm just somebody who tries to view things in life from a pragmatic approach rather than a dogmatic approach. I try to understand people's experiences and their real world, takes and the way they live in their day-to-day lives. And I think conservatives heavily misinterpret a lot of things that liberals and leftists have to say, and it gets sad sometimes because it really distorts being able to have a reasonable political discourse. But again, I'm sure we'll be able to talk about some interesting things during this conversation.
Well, okay, first thing first, I genuinely can't believe that you think y'all destroyed us for a simple fact. I was literally typing in the chat that I was about to make you contradict yourself as I made you contradict yourself, because you're overly emotional. You're you know what I'm saying, you don't know how to calm yourself down, and you just start rambling. So if you think you win that debate, that is actually very scary. And it was
Absolutely.
it was more 2 versus 1, because my partner, she didn't really say too much.
Yeah, she was horrible. Honestly, at least with you were somewhat entertaining, but she literally could have not been there and said a word, and it wouldn't have changed the outcome whatsoever. I mean, that's just being honest.
Okay, we might have.
Really quickly, you'll have to excuse me just a second here because I'm trying to get my phone just to connect to the battery. So give me one moment, okay? I promise I'll be done in just a minute.
All right, bet. Yeah, it's actually on Candace Owens' page. If anybody want to watch the pro-life versus pro-choice debate, it was if you just watch it, you could tell what I was doing when I was doing it, because see what I do in debates, y'all. I listen to people very closely. I listen to exactly what they say, just so I can make them contradict themselves. Because most people, they're really arguing from an emotional standpoint, so it's very hard to do that. Somebody is asking you questions that you can't really answer. Oh, you're back. Okay, great.
All right, I think we're almost ready.
All right, y'all. I'm waiting, man. I'm waiting for you to destroy me again, man. Yes, sir.
All right, I think we're good.
We're good.
All right. Sorry about that, folks.
You are entertaining. I knew bringing you on was going to be a good one. I love it. And you're confident. I really like it.
Oh. Okay, are we back?
Yes, sir. You ready? Oh, he got the whole setup. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you so much for the patience. Sorry about that. My computer for some reason wasn't charging the phone, and the battery on this phone's not very good, so I had to really quickly charge it back up before it died on me during the conversation. So I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Okay, so tell me.
So what I said was, I destroyed you and your partner.
Yeah.
And then you said that you destroyed me. I was emotional.
Yes.
But I wasn't. I mean, so here's the thing. Do you not agree that somebody who's passionate about something, somebody who has an argument, do you think that all arguments are supposed to be null and void of emotion at all?
I just think it's a bad tactic for debating.
But I'm sure that with your positions, you use emotion as well, right? Don't you?
No, I use straight statistics. Not saying I don't have emotions regarding it, but if you notice that other than Sharice bringing it up a few times, and I pretty much co-sign what she said, but me personally, you never see me initiate a conversation about religion when it comes to abortion. I could, but I didn't because I don't have to. So when you start getting emotional, it's too easy to make it's fun for me to make you contradict yourself, which you did many times.
So in your mind, because we can talk about the actual merits of our arguments, because if I recall correctly, you didn't actually say anything with substance. If I recall, the only thing you said was abortion is murder, which I swear I heard that at least once every time it was your turn to rebuttal. And then I heard that if you're not pro-life, then you're anti-black. And then you started justifying
I didn't say that.
Well, Sharice said it, but you were pretty much parroting off of what she said.
No, I agree. I agree with her.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And you were basically saying that you used the argument that Bill Gates' father was on the board of Planned Parenthood, which really doesn't have too much relevance regarding the current abortion debate. I don't see how that's really relevant. We talked about that. And then you accused me once I told you that I looked it up. You said I didn't look it up. You didn't give me the benefit of the doubt, which is so funny because shortly before that, you had asked me to look something up about Googling white Planned Parenthood or something. And I told you that I'm not going to do that. And then you basically called me out for not looking it up. But then when I told you I did look up one of your quote unquote facts, you accused me of not looking it up. So it's almost as if there was no winning with you originally, and you're not really interested in good faith arguments and good faith debate.
Well, what you're saying is incorrect. I don't know if your memory is just bad, but let's get something straight real quick. You brought up when she said something about regarding abortion and race, you pretty much tried to disagree with her. I told you if you Google Black community Planned Parenthood, something will come up. And I told you, if you Google white community Planned Parenthood, nothing will come up. And the reason I say that is because they were called literally the Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood was originally called the Negro Project.
I remember.
And then I told you that Bill Gates' father who's a eugenicist, was literally on the board of Planned Parenthood. And then Bill Gates is one of the largest donors to Planned Parenthoods. And I said that because these are the type of people that are on their boards because they are into eugenics. You know, if that's not relevant to abortion, then that's
it may have been relevant. It may have been relevant at one point, but my question, and you still cannot give me a real answer, is how does it relate to the modern day topic of abortion? What is happening right now? What does Bill Gates...
Bill Gates is the biggest donor right now, though.
So what? You say that like it's a bad thing.
Do you know what he's involved in? Do you know do you know what Bill Gates do with other countries? Do you know what he's about?
I'm really not,
do you know he's about the population?
Concerned.
Do you know he's trying to decrease the population? Do you know that's why he supports abortion so much? Did you know that's why he's one of the biggest donors of Planned Parenthood? Did you know they want to start with Black people? So if you say this has no relevance to abortion, I'm telling you why they promote
abortion. Again, I ask you, where is the malicious intent involved? Because again, this whole argument, quote unquote argument that you're making, which isn't even a real argument, is surrounded. It's surrounded by this idea that donating to Planned Parenthood is something that should be frowned upon. I don't understand. People choose to do what they want with their money, and they donate to whatever causes they'd like. And we can get into some of the horrible organizations that Republicans have funded in the past. But you seem to only want to focus on Bill Gates donating to Planned Parenthood. Why is that?
No, you just brought it up, and I'm explaining it to you again because you seem very confused about what the relevance of it. Because if you think that's irrelevant, I think it's simply because you didn't know this existed.
I think it's interesting.
So you have no argument against it. You have no argument against it. You disagree with it when I said it.
I have met so many conservatives that have parroted this exact same talking point. It never changes with you people. It never changes. It's always the same. So I don't see why you're making it seem like you're so woke, like you just discovered this treasure of knowledge that nobody else knows, and I must spread this.
You didn't know it though.
Else. I did know it. I literally told
somebody
you
in the chat,
beginning of the debate.
somebody in the chat, please go watch that video and tell me what he said when I said the things about Bill Gates' father, and then come back, later or DM it to me so I can DM it to him.
You joked about. You said
memory. His memory is crazy.
No, what you told me was I need to get you a shirt that says I support the Negro Project. You were making jokes out of what I was saying. Exactly. Even you're laughing.
I am hilarious.
No, you're not. You think you are, but I guarantee you, you're not. Also, let me ask you this, because the thing is, you keep saying that I'm the one that brought it up. In the beginning of the abortion argument, you were the one that started talking about Planned Parenthood and it's the eugenics. And I specifically told you, I am aware, before you even finished your sentence, you didn't even use the word eugenics. I specifically said, yeah, I'm familiar with you didn't even say her name, the founder of Planned Parenthood. I was the one that filled it in for you. I said, yeah, Margaret Sanger, founder of Planned Parenthood. I'm very familiar with the eugenics argument. I've heard the talking points, my guy. What you're saying is nothing new. I've heard it for years. I've heard it.
I have a question.
Yes.
If somebody go back to that interview just to see if you knew that Bill Gates' father was on the board, was on a plan, well, whatever it was, to see that if Bill Gates' father was on a Planned Parenthood, because you responded basically saying you didn't know it. So you telling me if somebody, let me finish. You saying somebody go back and watch that, it will show that you knew what I was talking about. Everybody knows Margaret Sanger found Planned Parenthood. You didn't fill in anything. I don't think you interrupted me and you filled it in yourself at your own will. You didn't have to fill in anything
because I knew it was coming. That's why. I told you people are predictable. You don't ever say anything new.
The Bill Gates part, did you know that or not?
Yes.
Did you know Bill Gates' father was on the board of Planned Parenthood?
I've heard of it. Yes, I've heard it.
So
I heard it.
If somebody
heard it, that means I know about it.
If somebody go back and watch it, that will be what they take from it. Is what you're saying?
My partner and I specifically he more specifically said that it was a conspiracy theory. I said
that's exactly what y'all said. It was a conspiracy theory. Your partner says that, and then you didn't know it. So I'm just asking this one more time.
I didn't comment. I simply said yes, I'm aware of that. What does that have to do with the current abortion
you just said
argument?
You're saying when I brought it up.
I said yes, I was aware.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said it so I can clip it and then show it.
Now here's the thing. Now this is what I don't understand. And we haven't even gotten into the main substance of what this argument is supposed to be about. And then I'm okay with that. I enjoy the content. It's nice having this dialogue. I have to say, though, it's so interesting. It seems like you really are more concerned about grifting, trying to repeat right-wing talking points and collecting sound bites so that you can try to make people go, ha, 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 see, look what this guy said. He wasn't 100% accurate in his statement. Look at him. He's super dumb. But I could do the same with you. I choose not to. I choose not to.
Let's stop real quick.
Because I actually care about real dialogue, unlike some people.
You made an attack, and I just want to take that right.
What attack did I make?
A lot of people on the left have a habit of trying to do these little soft attacks and then moving past like they never said it. You just try to say I'm grifting. Do you know what grifting means?
Yeah, and you know what?
What does it mean?
We need to get into
what does it mean?
You're selling your soul for propaganda to make a buck. That's what you're doing.
So basically, you're just saying that I didn't research any of this. I didn't say that.
No,
whoa. Because why would I? If
grifters tend to choose to ignore the facts, and they tend to grift because they know that it's going to get them the profit.
Yeah.
That's what grifters
So basically, you're implying. Let me just be clear. You're implying that Bryson Gray is just saying right-wing talking points, even though that a lot of people on the right did not know that Bill Gates' father was on the board of Planned Parenthood. People told me that I was lying at first on Twitter. The next day, everybody came back and said I was correct.
I didn't say you were lying.
No, I never said you said that. I'm saying what you said just don't make no sense in a logical standpoint.
So why are you bringing up what people said on Twitter?
This is what I'm talking about. Let me finish. How am I grifting? Explain that right now.
You revolve your entire... I'm
not even moving forward to you. Explain that.
You revolve your entire identity on quote unquote making the libs cry. What kind of political philosophy is that? It's not one that's
a hilarious one. Like I'm about to
exactly. This is all games for you. This isn't actually serious. You don't give a damn about real discourse. That's why you work for propaganda organizations like Turning Point USA.
Yeah.
This is why you get all the money.
Real discourse.
You lie to people and you actually
a lot of people.
You promote harmful propaganda.
I lie.
Absolutely.
I lie. Tell me a lie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me one.
You talk about.
Tell me one.
Really?
Tell me. Matter of fact, before we get to the locks, I'm gonna remember you said that. Let's go back to the grifter standpoint. You said something about a civil discussion, and I haven't attacked you, but you just called me a grifter. Is that correct?
What can you attack me on?
A lie.
Regarding politics, what can you attack me on?
A lie.
Like what? Like what? The abortion? All right, let's scratch that. We talked about
No. I'm gonna say it later, but I need you to just admit that you just had an attack. You called me a grifter with no evidence of me grifting because I turned down tons of money.
You work for Turning Point USA. You're an ambassador for Turning Point USA.
Does that mean I'm a grifter?
Yeah. Candace Owens is working for Turning Point USA. She's also a grifter. admittedly, she's a better one
Stop.
than you.
No. Explain how I'm a grifter. Explain how I make a buck off supporters by lying to them. Explain how I'm disingenuous.
You make money.
What I'm saying.
Off of lying to people.
How I make money? How?
You always talk about how Trump is so anti.
Tell me how I make money. Stop.
I'm telling you the things that you've talked about.
No. Tell me how I make money. Tell me how I make money first. Explain that one.
Working for Turning Point USA?
No, I don't. I do not get paid from them. You're a liar.
You're an ambassador for Turning Point USA.
No, I'm a free ambassador.
You have it in your bio.
We have no contract. I do not get not $1 for Turning Point USA. That's a fact.
Hey, listen. The fact of the matter is that you associate yourself.
No, stop. You call me a grifter. Let's go through it. Let's see who's really lying between me and you. We about to prove lies right now. You contribute to behavior that's predominantly attached to grifters. That's equally as bad, dude. Stop trying to move the goalposts. How do I make money? How do I make money?
You associate with grifters. You are part of that organization.
You're moving your goalposts.
You're literally pointing.
You're backtracking. You're backtracking. How do I make money? Answer that question right now.
Listen, this is clearly going nowhere because you're just going to keep saying that. Hey,
how do I make
tell
money?
me about it. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. I'm sure you get donations from people who believe in your false ideology. Your YouTube
so
videos.
Hey, do you care about the actual issue? Like you just accused him of not caring about the issue, or are you just going to sit here and make personal attacks on him? You made no argument about the issue. All you've done is attack him.
Exactly.
Do you have any actual argument regarding the issue?
Wait a minute. First of all, I thought this was supposed to be a debate between us.
Nothing.
Where are you coming from?
It's cool. No, it's cool, Pam. It's cool, Pam. Because I've already proven who's a real liar already. Because he already said I was a grifter, and now he's changing it to I associate with grifting. So
I'm saying that you do make money off of it. You want me to
tell me how? Right now,
you're acting like you don't know that you make money off.
Tell me how.
You're telling me you're broke. You're telling me you're broke. What real job do you work?
What real job do I work? Clown, I am laid off right now. I was getting up every morning at 5 a.m. driving 12. I'm driving 6 hours across the states.
So you're not making any money off of lying to people.
Oh,
so you lie to people willingly for free. That's even worse. At least if you were doing it for profit, you would be making money off of it. And at least you could flex your money, but you're not even making money off of it.
First, I was a grifter.
Yes, dude.
First, I was a grifter.
Sell your soul.
So, I got a question. So, can you admit that you lied about me being a grifter right now?
No.
But you. Okay.
You corrected me. I may have been wrong about you being a grifter, but you lied to people for free, which is even worse.
I just made you contradict yourself on that point.
Here's where it comes. Stop. What you do? Here's what it comes. You're trying to move the goalpost. You put a wall on the discussion. You say, "Wait a minute. See this is what I said earlier." What you do is you say, "Hey, you see, he was wrong about this. Therefore, his entire stance is incorrect." You focus on one minuscule detail of an entire argument, and you try to parrot that throughout the entire conversation.
Why are you saying incorrect things?
Because your brain capacity is so small, you can only count on one particular minute subject regarding the entire.
If you didn't say anything wrong, I couldn't point it out.
The only difference between you and I is when I'm incorrect about something, I'm willing to admit it. You're not. You will always lie to people. You will always act like everybody that gives you any sort of legitimate criticism is just a hater. They don't know. They fake.
You just contradicted yourself at least 6 times.
Maybe people just think you're. Maybe some people who are quote unquote haters just think you're really stupid. Yeah, it's not that. Well, it's not that serious.
I already made you contradict yourself on that point. Let's move to the next one. How am I a liar? Let's go.
You talk about Trump all the time. I guess we'll talk about Trump, right? Let's get into that. Let's shift over. I know the talking points already. What I want to know specifically.
Yeah. No, tell me how I'm lying. Let's go.
No, this is the thing. I'm trying to shift the topic because I want to talk about other things. I don't want to stick with one thing.
Because you're about to lose every single segment of this debate.
Are you serious? Let's get into it. All right. Trump. How is Trump anti-establishment?
How is Trump anti-establishment? Isn't it obvious?
Yes.
He's anti-establishment because he's going against what the establishment wants. Name somebody else that was able to get even a phase 1 trade deal with China. Name another president right now. Or any a Republican or Democrat.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about how Trump is fighting the American system, the so-called deep state. What is Trump doing right now?
You don't think the deep state relates to China and other countries?
Let me ask you, what do you think the deep state even is?
The deep state is a coup that come together to try to take down Trump because Trump is going
comprised of who?
A lot of people.
Name some of them. I don't want to hear Democrats. I want specifics. Who's in the coup?
Oh, it's not just Democrats.
Who else?
Personally, I think even like people like Mitch McConnell is involved in it. I think a lot of people is involved in the deep state. It's not just Democrats, but I can almost go through a list of Democrats who I think is involved in the deep state.
Would you say maybe, okay, sure, Republicans are just as much in the shit as Democrats are. Let's not pretend like the Republicans are angels who never did anything wrong, and the Democrats are the real evil in America.
I just literally said that.
No, I get it. No, I'm just saying. Yeah. You pair it for Republicans is what I'm saying. You pretend like conservatism, values, traditionalism, they're the party of truth and reason and logic. You're parroting for a
Can you name a time I've ever said that? Can you name a time I've ever said that?
You've literally said in the past, what are conservatives doing to conserve? Conservatives, and I'm curious to hear what you mean by that.
Conservatism is an ideology, not a party. Republican is a party. You just said I paired Republican talking points after
you support Donald Trump, who is a Republican candidate.
Let me finish. You literally said this after I just literally called out a Republican.
Trump is literally the face of the Republican Party. What are you talking about?
I just called out a Republican, and you said I paired Republican talking points.
You called out Mitch McConnell. One Republican is what you called out. I'm asking for the group as a whole, my guy. You called out Mitch McConnell, one guy who's a piece of shit. I'm glad you recognize it. I would think that you would be siding with him, considering he's him and his cronies.
Because you don't know what you're talking about.
I see. Okay.
You've been wrong before, and I'm about to make you wrong again. Tell me one time I've said something about a mascot for the Republican Party.
You were literally talking. Dude, you literally wear the "Make America Great Again" onesie holding guns. How is that? I
love guns, and I love Trump.
You wear that ridiculous MAGA onesie.
It is so lit. It's so. See, me, my girl, we went viral. Did you see us?
Listen, I'm happy you went viral, dude. But that's the point.
And me and my girl,
I heard.
We both are Trump supporters, and we both are conservatives.
That's awesome, dude. I'm happy.
I love it.
I'm happy that you're being used. I'm happy that you're being used as political props to promote the black vote towards Trump. I'm super happy.
Am I being used or am I using them?
I think you are absolutely being. You think you're that important to Trump? Have you actually messaged him? Did he come to you and say, "Hey, Bryson, I love this photo of you two"? No, he retweeted it. He didn't even say anything about it. For God's sakes. You act like Trump cares about you.
I don't want to brag, but this is like you will lose this road with me in so many ways. So
say something. Don't just say I'm going to lose.
You just say that Trump care about me. How many times do you think Trump has acknowledged me?
I don't know. For you, probably quite a few times because you were popular for that MAGA rap challenge. I remember. And I think you're maybe more. Oh, yeah, probably more. But the MAGA rap challenge was like what got you started. That's what got you recognized.
No, it
did. I remember.
No, you don't.
Literally nobody knew who you were until that shit happened.
No, you have no clue what you're talking about again.
Yeah, I do remember. You had a couple thousand followers on Twitter. After you went viral from that MAGA rap challenge, you started gaining a ton of followers.
You're a silly guy.
I think you're good at rapping, my guy. I honestly think you should stick with the music and just drop the politics. It's not working for you.
Are you gonna let me correct you real quick?
Go ahead.
I went viral because I was at a Trump rally in Fayetteville with a big hat on, and they interviewed me, and I said I could vote. I could vote for whoever the hell I want to vote for. That's why I went viral.
Wow, it's really easy to get viral these days. Be a black guy with a giant.
All you're doing, bro, is making this all about Bryson defending himself personally instead of focusing on issues.
Again, where are you coming in from?
Make an argument.
Are you like the guy in the background?
Every time you ask him to get into the issues,
butt buddy?
You interrupt him. You interrupt him with personal attacks.
Are you his butt buddy?
Don't go anywhere near the issue.
Are you his butt buddy?
No argument.
Are you his butt buddy?
Make it about Bryson.
Are you his butt buddy?
That's your bag of tricks, man.
Are you? Wow, dude, you're getting so mad.
That's your bag of tricks.
Pam,
you're getting so mad, dude.
Hey, Pam, I love it because even
oh shit!
But Pam,
oh my god!
Wow, Bryson, I'm happy you got a friend here.
Pam, this is all you can do.
Pam, I love it. Pam, I love it though because even when he tried this, he's losing. He's been wrong every second so far, and I find it very.
Don't go anywhere near the issue.
Because he don't know what to do now.
I would, you know what's so funny? I would really, really love to get into the issues. The problem is,
let's go right now.
You keep saying that, but you never do. You just jump back to personal attacks. I
asked him a question about the deep state. We were going somewhere with that.
Yeah, make it about personal attack.
Hold on.
All you do is get him tripped.
Are you just going to keep talking, dude? You're not even in this debate.
Why are you going to talk about abortion?
Why are you even in this debate? Why are you even in this debate, dude? Let's talk about everything.
Republicans, about Trump,
let's talk about everything.
Why haven't you talked about abortion?
He doesn't know what this is about. He's just trying his hardest to do things. He keeps being wrong. So now
literally, you hit me up last week, asked me to come on the show.
Yes,
I said yes, and you flaked. And then last minute yesterday,
I didn't flake.
You were like, yeah, come on, bro, let's do it tomorrow. Last minute, you decided.
I didn't flake. I literally didn't do the show. Hey, Pam, was I on the show the week before? I was not on the show the week before last, and then last week I came on late because I was on vacation in the middle of nowhere in the woods.
Fair enough, dude, but you didn't tell me anything. You just left me hanging.
Oh, I forgot.
That's not real.
I forgot. I do apologize for that, actually.
That's okay, dude. That's all right. Wow, that's the first time I've ever heard you apologize.
Because the only time I've been in the wrong.
Oh my God! All right, let's talk about it. The deep state. You were telling me that it's comprised of Democrats. You mentioned Mitch McConnell, one Republican. Great. I basically said no. It's comprised of a conglomerate of both Democrats and Republicans, including a lot of other people. Would you agree that the Rothschilds, the Goldman Sachs, those people, the big banks, they're part of the deep state too, right?
I agree.
Absolutely. And would you say that Trump is the anti-establishment candidate? You think that he is actively fighting to go against the big interests such as Goldman Sachs and the Rothschild Bank? You think that he's against that?
I think Trump is America first. I think he's against the establishment politicians. I think Trump is against anti-deep state. I think, do you understand what's going on, what he's trying to do as far as globally also?
I mean, explain it to me. I've heard some theories.
Okay, you heard some theories. Let me try to break this down to you real quick. So you have all of these trade deals of other countries just like, I don't want to cuss, but screwing us.
Hey, curse, dude. I don't care.
No, I mean, it's because of the show. I don't
for Facebook, right.
But a lot of people are screwing us up the behind, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, China has been screwing us for God knows how many years, and not one president from either side has been able to do anything regarding that, right? You know that, right?
I think there's there might be a core reason. I'm speculating, but go on. Yes, I'm in agreement so far.
Okay, so things like that he's fighting against. Let's talk about things that's here in the United States of America. Do you know the type of sex trafficking that goes on? Mm-hmm. Do you know there are literal pedophile groups?
Yeah, Bill Clinton was a part of them.
In Hollywood,
John of God, the island.
In Hollywood, not only the island. Do you know what Nixon is?
Hollywood, right? Who?
Yeah, Nixon. You don't remember that?
I don't. You have to refresh me.
Do you know? It's just a Hollywood group that just pedophilia. And have you read? Do you remember the emails that came out from Hillary Clinton from John Podesta?
Yes.
Have you ever actually dug into those?
Not quite. No.
Did you know he used a lot of code words that even the FBI has admitted are pedophilia code words?
Not really. I haven't looked too much into it, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I know Hillary Clinton is despicable, but go on.
Yeah, but not only that, even with illegal immigration, do you know how much illegal immigration feeds into sex trafficking?
Probably not that much.
You think so?
There's probably a few people out there, but I would say on average, the majority of people don't do that.
Can you admit that Trump goes hard against sex trafficking?
I mean, he says he does. I've seen things where he takes down groups and supposedly concealed indictments, like over 40,000 government officials, and they're part of a sex ring and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff that I would hear from maybe like QAnon, stuff like that. Don't know how QAnon. Don't know how accurate that information is because it's never been brought to the public. But it is interesting to say the least. Absolutely, it's interesting to dive into those things. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you think it's weird? The ties that people like Joe Biden have with other countries, and every time Trump tries to step up and do something, he starts getting investigated. Do you think it's weird that every time he's been investigated, nothing has came up at all? Not even nothing. He's been guilty of literally nothing.
Well, here's the thing.
Let me finish real quick. But do you know what's going on right now? Do you know who's getting investigated right now?
Let me guess. Don't tell me. Barack Obama.
Democrats, all of us. Obama, it's a lot of them though, and they've literally been. This is not a conspiracy.
You realize nothing is going to happen, right?
You say that, but do you know why?
Literally, Attorney General William Barr literally said nothing is going to happen with this Obama case.
Do you know why they're being investigated?
Spying on President Trump via the NSA technology.
Do you remember when Trump first said that he was being spied on? What happened?
He got dismissed. People didn't really believe it, thought it was a hox.
What did the media do? They laughed at him at his face.
Yeah, they did.
What did the fact checkers do?
The thing is that it's absolutely, listen, if you expect me to defend Democrats or Barack Obama, that is absolutely not what I'm doing. Because I literally what I'm trying to say is I understand there's corruption within the Democrat Party. What I'm saying though is the Republicans are not better. And on top of that, the people that support Donald Trump, the people that ride on everything he says. And I want to touch up on what you said a few minutes ago about how Trump is supposedly against the big banks and the Rothschilds. And then you say, do you realize that Trump literally he campaigned on this? He campaigned on being against Goldman Sachs. Hillary Clinton and Ted Cruz are in the pockets of Goldman Sachs and big banks and blah, 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 blah. We will make sure that they're stealing from the people and giving back to the big corporations, blah, 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 blah. You know who else talks about that? Bernie Sanders. But they always call him a communist when he says it. Trump said, hold on a second. I have to finish this.
No. You're moving to a new point, and I just want to confirm something about the last one.
I'm trying to talk to you about the deep state is what I'm talking about.
I know, but listen. About the deep state, you asked me how Trump against the deep state. I gave you information. Not only did I give you information, you actually conceded to what I was saying. So
I said, yeah, that might be true. There's probably a deeper force of government that does want him to go. But do you understand that it's not just them? The American people literally feel the same way.
Let me finish. So can you say for a fact that Bryson just answered your question about the deep state with valuable information about Trump?
I think you answered elements of it, but I don't think you gave me the big picture, which is that Trump is not anti-establishment. He's anything but anti-establishment. He feeds off of the establishment, and he lies to people like you, and you buy into it. Literally, Trump ran on being anti-establishment against the Rothschilds, against the Goldman Sachs, Hillary Clinton, all this and this and that. Trump is the biggest hypocrite. After Trump got elected, shortly after, he appointed Gary Cohn. Literally, somebody who was the president of Goldman Sachs. Trump had 3 Goldman Sachs former employees in top positions inside the administration. Steve Bannon, who was a vice president at Goldman when he left the firm in 1990 as a chief strategist. Stephen Mnuchin, who had spent 17 years at Goldman as a treasury secretary. And then later on, a couple months after, another Goldman partner by the name of Dina Powell actually joined the White House as a senior counselor for economics initiatives. So my question is, why would Trump campaign on being against groups like Goldman Sachs and accuse his opponents, his political opponents, of being in the pockets of Goldman Sachs when right after he gets elected, he ends up hiring those people from Goldman Sachs? It's almost as if he actually doesn't care about being anti-establishment, and he just wants to trick people like you into believing his narrative. I have
a simple question that I know you won't be able to answer, which might not be funny.
What is it?
What policies?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. This is what I'm talking about.
This is related to what you said. Just let me finish. It's related to everything you just said. It's related to what you just said.
I doubt it is, but go ahead.
Okay. What policies has Trump enacted or signed or put in place that supports these big banks? Don't tell me if
that's your question.
Don't tell me if he hired somebody from a big bank.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me the only way that Trump can go against his campaign promise in regards to being against, you would think that if somebody is against Goldman Sachs and giant groups like that, he wouldn't actually try to appoint them in his cabinet, right? Would you agree with that? Yes or no? Would you agree with that? Yes or no?
No. Your claim is that
he wouldn't, right?
Your claim, I'm disagreeing with you. Your claim is that he loves the big banks. He doesn't. So what policies? Give me anything. Just give me one piece of anything
again,
signed to support these
people. The policy. That's all I'm hearing about. What about the
policy? Is what matters.
Let's talk. No, what matters is
because he hired people. Give me something that he placed in the law.
What matters is that he lied to the American people by saying that he was going to try to stay away from these groups, and he ended up hiring 4 people from those groups that he promised he wouldn't. He promised he was going to try to do better for the American people when he ended up hiring those people that go directly against American interests. He hired people that went for government intervention for people that support big banks. That's what he did. And you support that, and you're trying to dismiss it now by saying,
I'm not dismissing
policy
it. I'm not dismissing anything. I'm asking you.
You can't admit that Trump lied.
No.
Trump lied.
No, because him hiring somebody from a firm doesn't mean every single person at that firm is bad. We don't know that they could
so
be.
He generalizes the whole
what happened to Steve Bannon? What happened to Steve Bannon? What happened to Steve Bannon?
Didn't he get fired?
Yes.
He's gone now.
Yes.
Exactly. That just goes to prove my point that the president and his administration have a terrible vetting process. They just hire anybody that they think will serve their corporate interests. Or does it end up talking out against him, and he ends up firing them.
Or does it tell you that he gave somebody a chance or realized this person wasn't the one?
Yeah, he gave somebody from Goldman Sachs a chance. Wow. Yeah. Congratulations, Trump. You
don't understand strategy.
Exactly. I was literally just about to say that.
Where did this guy come from?
I was just literally.
You do not understand strategy.
Hold on 1 second. I have to ask, and I mean this with all due respect to everybody on this panel. Bryson, you told me this was going to be a conversation between us. Now we have 2 other goons on your side that are defending you.
Goons.
I mean, they're riding with.
I've been called worse.
It was getting kind of boring with the personal attacks back and forth, you know. I'm actually enjoying the combo now when it's sticking.
Well, I appreciate that. I was trying to get to the substance, but Mr. Bryson was pivoting on one specific point, and I couldn't get to the next topic. He always wants to hang on one point.
No, it's not hanging on one point. You make claims. I'm asking you to go deeper in your claims, but
I did. I just told you Trump had hired 4 Goldman Sachs representatives.
You said
you agree with.
Your evidence for him being in bed with the big banks can't be he hired somebody. Give me a policy. Give me something he signed.
Bro, I'm literally telling you.
Give me something he actually a little action he did.
You want to know what he did?
Not an individual. He did to support the bank.
You want me to give you an example? I'll give you an example
of a bill or something.
I'll tell you how he did it. He hired 4 people from Goldman Sachs.
No,
that should be enough.
Oh my God.
The moment you saw that,
so you don't know what you're talking about.
The moment you saw that, you should have been like, wait a minute, this guy was shitting on Goldman Sachs and the Rothschilds months ago, and now all of a sudden he's hiring people from their firm?
So
what the hell is this? He lied to me.
So you can't go deeper because you don't know anything, right? Is that the truth?
First of all, this is what you do.
I'm asking a question.
You hear a counter argument, and the first thing you do is, well, what about this, huh? What about this? You don't actually want to refute what I'm saying. Do you agree that it was wrong for him to hire those people after months of campaigning that he was against those people?
Not wrong or right. I think it was neither.
Oh, so you're a centrist. You don't actually give a shit. You think it's whatever.
I never said I don't give a shit. I said you got to think about strategy. Do you know why he hired them? Do you know why he fired them? Do you know?
Because they serve his interest.
They serve his what?
His interest.
Give me some proof of him hiring them because of that reason.
Literally. How can you sit here and justify that? My question is, he probably did it because he realized that these people can make him a lot of money. They're going to keep the status quo, and he's not going to do anything to actually fight the establishment. He'll pretend to on camera because he's a TV star. He's good at that. He's good at fooling people like you and other people.
What's that word?
He doesn't actually care.
What's that word you use?
I use a lot of words.
He probably. The word probably. That means you don't know.
Well, let me ask. Can you actually refute what I'm saying? Okay,
I did.
Why did he?
I'm going to make you do it for me, actually.
No. Why did he hire those people then? You tell me.
No.
Answer the question.
We don't know why.
I told you.
We don't know. Nobody knows why.
Okay, so you're saying nobody knows why, but you're trying to hold me to the corner saying, why did he do it? Why did he do it? When you yourself just admitted that you don't know.
I want you to say the same thing.
This is what I'm talking about. Conservative.
You're not talking about anything.
You pretend like
I'm making you contradict yourself.
No, you're not. You're literally saying, well, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, okay, you tell me your reason then. Nobody knows. That's why. Oh, so why are you going to hold me to the same standard as you? Answer that.
I'm asking you a question because you won't admit it because you think you know things you don't know.
And I'm asking you to enlighten me, and you just said, well, nobody knows why he did it.
Well, people know, not you, though.
People know. Me. Oh, so you said nobody knows, but now it's only me that doesn't know. Which one is it, dude?
I said me too, remember? Did you forget me saying that?
You just said right now, nobody knows why. Nobody knows why. But then you want to ask me, like I have all the answers, but you don't even have the answers.
No. Some things neither one of us have the answers on. Why can't you realize that, though?
I do realize that. You're the one that's like, well, you're the one that plays the benefit of the doubt. I can admit, like, hey, listen, who knows why he did it? The whole point is that he hired these people lying to us by saying he wasn't going to do that.
Hey, you know what's funny? You just tried to explain something.
Your ridiculous ignorance is funny.
Listen, this whole time you've been saying things. Let me ask you a question. During this debate so far,
it's really tiring.
How many things have you said that was wrong?
I don't know how you can keep this up.
Hey, question.
I mean, seriously.
During this debate so far, how many?
So bad.
Listen,
it's funny.
Listen.
It's hilarious.
During this debate so far, how many things have you said overall that was incorrect? Factually incorrect and proven incorrect.
You think I worry about? Well, how many times have you been wrong, huh?
I'm trying to admit it. I'm asking if you admit it. Since we've been talking, how many times have you been wrong?
This is what I'm talking about. We have a rational conversation, and then it turns into you going, "Well, how many times were you wrong?" You see,
you've been trying to attack me the whole time.
You literally don't know
conversation when I'm checking you on your statement. You claim that I'm a liar, but if we go back and rewind this,
you are. I just told you right now why you're a liar, and then you try to pivot it back to me saying.
Who has been lying during this segment? Name one time I lied and rewatch the tape and clip it. I can clip you lying at least 7 times.
You just said that you just said that it wasn't wrong for Trump to hire people from Goldman Sachs.
I said it wasn't wrong or right.
Campaign promise.
It wasn't wrong. It wasn't wrong.
It wasn't wrong.
Your campaign,
what was it?
That campaign promise has nothing to do with him hiring an individual. You said he in bed with the banks. I asked you to show me a policy or something he did to prove that he's in love with the banks. You can't because you don't know what you're talking about. You're talking on the outside.
You haven't said anything. You know what else is funny? We only been talking about.
You can't go deeper because you're not knowledgeable about anything you're even talking about. That's the truth, and I'm proving that. I don't even have to say anything.
Proving that.
I can just ask you
literally not
that
proving that at all. Literally, you want to talk about more anti-establishment rhetoric?
Just rewatch
no. dude, listen, I know you have a lot of followers on Twitter and you got a big following and your ego's probably inflated like a hot air balloon. So you think that you're actually good at this type of thing, but you're really not. And let me tell you something else. The other thing is, you want to talk about, absolutely. You want to talk about more anti-establishment shit? You know who Wilbur Ross is? Wilbur Ross. Tell me who he is right now.
No. Tell me. You tell me.
No. Tell me.
Oh, I don't know.
You always put me in the corner.
Don't know him. Tell me. Tell me who he is.
Wilbur Ross is currently Trump's pick for the Commerce Secretary.
Yeah, okay.
Literally. And you know what? You know who Wilbur Ross is? A multi-billionaire who bailed Trump out in the 1990s. Literally, Trump was going bankrupt. Wilbur Ross saw a potential opportunity in Donald Trump, and he literally bailed him out. And you know who Wilbur Ross is? Also, he was a top Rothschild's banker in the 1980s and 90s. So isn't it funny to me that all the conservatives love to talk about how they're Trump is the anti-establishment. Oh, fuck the Rothschilds, fuck Goldman Sachs, fuck Soros, which, by the way, Trump had business dealings with Soros back in 2004 for the Chicago skyscraper. So all these people that the conservatives hate, all the people that the conservatives hate so much, Trump has worked with for financial gain. If it wasn't for those people, Trump would be another washed up celebrity.
Yeah. I have a question. Are you saying him hiring these people mean they would have influence over his decisions making?
They certainly, it's funny that he hires these people who have conveniently bailed him out in the past. It's almost as if he has a special interest towards these people.
Well, for the last guy you said top pick, though, I got a question. Do you think that him hiring people?
Yeah, he was. I didn't say top. No, Wilbur Ross is literally Trump's pick for Commerce Secretary. Wilbur Ross is in that position. He has contributed to more corruption in the Trump administration.
You named so far, I think 5 people, if I'm counting correctly, that he's hired from places that
conservatives hate.
I got a question.
Places that conservatives...
Are you saying this because you're saying these people have influence over his decision making and things he
What I'm saying is Trump is a hypocrite and a fraud who lies to people. That's what I'm saying.
Why are you not answering my question?
I have nothing more to say about that.
You know why
Trump
you don't?
is a fraud.
You know why you don't? Because you don't know what you're talking about.
Because I just told you why you're wrong.
And if I ask you to go deeper, you can't.
Okay,
you're just trying. Okay, thanks. Are you saying these people will have an influence over his decisions he make for this country?
Yes.
Now, when did he hire the first 3 people you named that he hired?
Back in 2017.
What year is it now?
2020. Is this the argument you have? Because it's now 2020. It doesn't just refute what I just said about how he's a liar.
Let me finish. Because you just said yes, that means they'll have influence over his decision making. And it has been
now, but they did at one point.
Let me finish. Them because
their vetting process is so terrible.
Finish. It has been 3 years since. Can you give me any evidence that these people have influenced his decision making
over him? Donald Trump and Wilbur Ross have had business dealings. They've had Wilbur Ross and Donald Trump have had business dealings for over 25 years, dude. This isn't new.
Give me proof of them.
You are acting brand new.
Decision making as a president for this country. Give me proof right now. Come on.
So. Okay, I'll give you proof. I just have really one quick question. No, here's the thing, because that's what you do. Give me the proof. I say something, I give you the proof that Donald Trump has been a consistent liar for so long, and then what you say is, give me proof give me proof that he's actually having an impact now, even though you said they were. 3 years ago.
No, I say in that 3 year span, give me proof. Give me anything to prove your statements. Can you do that?
Are you going to sit here and pretend like what I have said is not significant? Because it really is.
It would be if you give me proof.
Do you remember Sharpie Gate? You remember that, right?
Tell me about it. Let's go.
No. I'm asking you a question. Can you be honest? Just tell me yes or no. Do you know what it is?
You tell me about it at this point. Just tell me about it. I'm listening.
Trump uses Sharpie to highlight over the weather over Hurricane Dorian that was in Alabama.
I got a Sharpie in here somewhere too. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Dude, you really don't care about real political discourse. All you do is laugh at people. Like, you don't actually care.
I'm a grifter, though. Okay, now tell me. Now prove.
You support grifters like Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk, who's a failed son. Yeah, and I can talk about that if you want.
Prove how them people over the course of them 3 years had an influence over his policy making.
Wilbur Ross specifically what's the word? He went against the Alabama weather forecasters, and Trump retaliated against those forecasters, knowing good and damn well that Hurricane Dorian was a significant threat to Alabama. Okay, so Trump literally put his own personal gain by the influence of Wilbur Ross to try to lie to people in Alabama and tell them that the hurricane wasn't as serious as it really was. That happened. That's verifiable. Wilbur Ross had deep conversations with people in the government about this, and it passed over to Trump. You really think you know the dealings that go on in the government?
I just want to repeat what you just said to make sure I'm clear, because I do not want to think you're crazy. So are you saying Wilbur Ross is the reason you saying Trump ignored a weatherman and said that
yes, it was an authoritarian approach to power, and his willingness to actually sacrifice public safety for his own vanity. Literally, the people rely on the National Weather Service whether to stay or evacuate during a major storm. But Wilbur Ross's involvement makes the story super corrupt because he literally had influence over it. Yeah. I'm sorry, you don't know these things, but it's true. Man. I know you always like to give the president the benefit of the doubt, and you putting your hand over your face going, ooh, man, is not an argument.
Yeah. So do you have proof that Wilbur Ross?
Oh, my God.
Because this is actually hilarious in my opinion, and I don't want to laugh, but it took you literally 10 minutes to actually answer a question.
Stupid. You are so stupid. It's so funny. I can't believe you have a giant following. You are such a joke. I literally tell you all these things, and the first thing you do is laugh and say, "Well, do you have proof of this? Do you have proof of this? I'd be happy to send you the studies, the articles, the actual verified evidence of these things." Since you think it's such a joke, it's really not. Well, Trump is not the guy you think he is, dude. Yeah. Whether you want to believe it or not. I know he retweeted you, and I know it feels good to say the president of the United States retweeted.
Yeah, I want
really, dude.
I want to move forward, but I just want to say, is that it you have? Is that what you have of proof that over the course of 3 years that those people you name have influence over his?
You asked me for an example, and I gave you an example. That's not good. That's not good enough for you.
No, I'm going to accept it. If that's what you want, I love that you said that.
This is what I'm talking about, folks. He asked me a question. I answer his question, and he goes, "Is that all you got?" Huh?
Let's move on. Before we move on, I want to confirm. You did this a lot. I know. You don't like confirming. I remember during the abortion debate, you literally every time my partner and I counter argued you were just like, "Let's move on. Let's move on. I don't want to talk about it." Is your brain that slow I didn't say that
you can't actually keep up with one topic for more than 5 minutes?
You're lying.
You did.
You're blatantly
literally
lying
said,
again.
"Let's move on." I'm not going to answer that. I asked you when the baby feels a heartbeat. I asked you when it feels pain. And you know what you said? I'm not going to answer that. Let's just move on. That's what you said. Is
that what I said? Verbatim?
And you yes. Look at the fucking thing, dude.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't verbatim, oh my God, I may have said one word wrong. This is what you do.
You're lying for a fact,
you quote snipe people, and then you try to throw it in their face. And then you make it seem like your ideology is wrong because you said this one time. You're a fucking joke, dude.
I love this. I remember you called me a liar, and I just love that because I'm gonna clip all of this.
I literally just asked you. I asked you questions about the deep state. I asked you about the Rothschilds,
and I answered it, and you agreed.
I didn't agree. What I said was, "Can you refute it?" And then what you said was, "Well, do you have any proof? What influence have they had?" I just gave you an example, and then you go, "Well, is that all you got?"
No, I said let's confirm that's your only example, so we can move forward. Because I want you to hold on to that example. I like that you gave an example after 10, 15 minutes, and I want you to keep that and hold it, make sure you confirm it, make sure you accept that so we can move on. So you accept it. That's your example.
Yeah, I accept it. Absolutely.
Great. Okay,
let's hear your academic thesis. I want to hear it.
Oh no, I'm gonna move on to the next topic you want to talk about.
Oh, really?
Yes.
This is my show now? Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I mean, you've been talking the whole time about nonsense, so let's go.
Because everything you said is wrong. And by the way, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. You could do that. No holding back. You're supposed to be a tough conservative, right? Let's no holding back. I know you can do that. You've
been wrong. Why don't you every time you talk?
Hey, listen.
99.8% of things you say have been inaccurate, but let's go. Let's go to
it wouldn't surprise me that you came up with such a false number, considering you don't actually care about percentages and numbers.
Stop being attacked. Let's go to the next one. Let's go.
All right.
We only got 9 minutes. Come on.
All right. Oh, 9 minutes? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on.
Turning Point USA. Why do you associate with them?
Turning Point USA has had a great effect on the future of conservatism. Oh,
shit. That's a good one, dude. That is a good one.
And by the way, they're more about the being conservative economically. So the only thing I have is I wish people would be more open about being conservative socially. Which is
wait a minute, but you support Nick Fuentes, don't you? You follow each other, and I've seen him retweet your stuff.
I'm cool with Nick Fuentes, but we used to be beefing. Now we cool.
And if I recall correctly, Nick Fuentes was also part of Turning Point USA, and if it wasn't for Turning, and if it that might be true. I heard it though. He associated with them at one point, and they let him go.
You should start fact checking yourself sometime.
Let me tell you this though. Okay, let's forget about Nick Fuentes for a second, because I was going to actually get into the point that Nick Fuentes. We can get any
point you want.
I'm trying to. What I'm saying is Nick Fuentes and his group of groypers actually disrupted Turning Point. You know this. You saw it on Twitter.
I was there.
Twitter head. Okay, cool. So who are you with? Were you just there to which side were you on?
Have you watched the video where they attacked Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, I've seen quite a few of them.
Do you know who was in that video?
Donald Trump Jr.?
No, I was in that video.
I didn't see you.
Going back and forth with the groypers. Yeah, because you don't
really.
You don't know what you'll be talking about. This again. You need to start facting.
No. Listen, I said Nick Fuentes went against the groypers. I was curious how you felt about that. I didn't know you were part of the group. Hey, enlighten me. That's why I'm here.
I'm not a groyper. I agree with
good.
Me and Nick Fuentes had a conversation we had a conversation / debate while playing Fortnite, and we agree on a lot socially, a lot, not everything. I just disagree that they hyper focus too much on race.
Right. Oh, wow, dude. You're actually not as big of a dipshit as I thought. Cool.
Because you don't know what you're talking about.
No.
You're exactly who I think you are.
No, the other things that I mentioned about how corrupt the government is and how Trump isn't part of that, he's in the pockets of those people, you could not refute a single thing.
I did,
what you did was you pivoted it because you didn't have to refute, which is fine, dude.
I understand. I made you make a clear statement.
Right-wingers can never admit that they're wrong.
No. You said, and I quote, that yes, these people, he's in the pockets. First off, you have to prove that he's in the pockets.
Oh.
Secondly,
I just told you how he is.
Secondly, you said that they do have influence over them. I asked that question 8-9 times. The 9th time I asked it, you said Sharpie Gates. And I'm glad you said it.
And I told you. And right. And I told you
something. Yeah.
No, the reason I didn't get to Sharpie Gate until later was specifically because beforehand, you just kept pivoting. And I was trying to hold you to the point that I was making, and you kept on saying, well, how about this? What about this? It's all about whataboutism, which right-wingers typically do, which is no surprise. But my question is, TPUSA, why would you want to associate with that organization? Are you aware of the history of that organization? People like Candace Owens who work for that organization?
I love Candace Owens.
Okay. That's cool. I know you do. I've seen you wear the shirt. Candace is better than Cardi. I've seen it.
And Beyonce.
Cool. No, you know what?
By the way, before you continue, have you noticed that every time you talk or you say anything, you have to throw an attack in there? Have you noticed that?
I guess.
Yeah, but then,
is that bad?
But then have you know? I don't care. I like it. It's funny to me. But the problem with it is, you said I think 10 times, if I may count correctly, about how I'm the person that don't want to have an actual discussion, a civil discussion in good faith.
Right, because every time I say something, here's what I think.
But have you noticed that though?
Yes, but no, hold on. See, that's what I mean. You take something and you go, okay, yeah. See, I need what I got. Close the briefcase. I got all the information I need. Now, whatever you say to refute me, I'm just going to bring up that same talking point again. That's what you do. That's your MO. That's what all of you do. You don't actually have real ideas. You don't really want to talk about it.
Again,
if I knew
now,
he doing it right now. It is hilarious. I love this. This is so funny to me.
I don't want to talk to the skinny soy boy. I want to talk to you.
Hey, you did it again.
I know.
God is passive aggressive attacks, man.
Hey, bro.
You're right.
Joel, if you can you try not to cuss? I know you're emotional right now. I know it's okay. You're triggered. It's okay. But please, refrain from cussing if you can.
I'll try, dude. I will, out of respect for your show. So what I was saying, though, about Turning Point USA is, though, literally, there have been tons of people that have been let go and fired from Turning Point USA because of their usage of racial slurs, Islamophobia, and anti-Semitism. And you have to know that. And then there comes Candace Owens as well. And Candace Owens is working for them. Well, here's what happened. Here's what I think.
Real question.
They got a bunch of the grifters from Turning Point USA ended up getting fired. White grifters, mind you. And then Candace Owens came into the picture. She was the black conservatives. They're using her as a puppet, and she's making millions of dollars off of it.
Hey, I have a question. Did you say that TPUSA is anti-Semitic?
No, I didn't say that. I said that members from TPUSA who have worked for them in the past have shown anti-Semitism, where they literally talk about how they shouldn't talk about the Jews so much to not to avoid controversy, implying that they talk about the Jews in a very negative way, how the Jews control the world. I mean, yeah. Maybe not Charlie Kirk or the organization as a whole, but the people who have worked for them contribute to the brand of Turning Point USA. Well, so you can't blame me for thinking, wow, this organization hires a lot of racists and anti-Semites and Islamophobes. Maybe that's a pretty fair interpretation of what their group is all about.
Do you know why one of the reasons Nick Fuentes does not like TPUSA?
Something about Conservative Inc. and how they don't actually preserve and promote real conservatism or something. I don't know. What's the reason? What's your interpretation?
Because he think they are. Hopefully I'll say this right. He think they are Zionists, and he said they pick Israel over America.
It's true. Yeah.
No, but my question is. You try to paint a negative picture on TPUSA.
Well, I didn't say they're anti-Semites.
I don't know, but you did. But you just said the people that was contributed to the brand, and I'm telling you,
what I said was it's not impossible for people to hear what the former, directors of Turning Point USA have said and done, and go, "Wow, this group doesn't stand for what I believe in. They might be anti-Semitic." But the reality is, behind closed doors, people like Charlie Kirk constantly shill for Israel, and I absolutely agree with that. There are a lot of people that don't actually know the truth behind Turning Point USA. I know both sides of the equation.
So say right now that Turning Point USA is literally the opposite of anti-Semitic.
Yeah, they are anti-Semitic. They're the opposite of anti-Semitic. I just literally, see what I mean? I gave you a clear and concise definition of what I was referring to.
Your point of this topic was to try to say something bad about TPUSA.
What I was saying is, why are you working for them?
Individuals
is what I said.
Yes, you said why about?
I said why are you working for them when they have a past?
Yes, here we go. Continue. You're about to say it. Continue.
And I talked about the racism and the Islamophobia, not just the anti-Semitism. Why are you only focusing on the anti-Semitism part that I said? Why aren't you refuting the other two things?
No,
I'll tell you why you're not refuting it, because you know I'm right. That's
no. You're not. Right now, once again, you asked me why am I working for TPUSA. Your reason for asking that question and what you have as evidence on why I shouldn't be working for TPUSA is these examples of individuals.
Anti-Semitism.
No, stop.
People who have worked in high places. Yes.
Why are you going to let me finish though? Okay. And your evidence for asking me that question or implying that I shouldn't be working for them is the fact that individuals that has worked for the TPUSA in the past are either anti-Semitic, racist, Islamic, like they're
you
like,
make it seem like that's not a big deal. No, especially considering.
Are you going to let me finish though?
Yes.
Okay. And you using that tell me why I shouldn't work for TPUSA, which means you're using that to represent TPUSA in your argument.
What I'm saying is you are associating. Go ahead.
But in the same breath, I just made you admit that TPUSA as a group is the opposite of anti-Semitic, even though your argument on why I should be working for them is based on individuals.
So they're basically bad on both fronts.
And now you're about to bring up individuals that say something racist, and then you're going to bring up an individual that says something else. What's the point of bringing up these individuals?
It's not just about racism. Listen, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Your argument makes no sense.
You literally sniped one part. You heard anti-Semitism, and then you brought up Nick Fuentes. Well, do you know why Nick Fuentes doesn't?
You brought up Nick Fuentes
because. You literally asked me, do you know why? But originally, but I forgot about Fuentes until you just brought it up a second ago. So that's why I'm engaging. And the whole point was they're not just it's not just about the anti-Semitism. It's about the Islamophobia, the racism, how they use the N-word openly with the hard R at the end, how they don't actually care. I mean, seriously.
TPUSA?
And here's the other thing. TPUSA isn't just known for racism and things like that. TPUSA is actually has been talked about getting banned on a college campus over in Texas because they were literally because TPUSA gets hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars from big corporations. And basically what they do with those funds is they reallocate those funds towards college campuses for their government student bodies. And that's why in that particular university, the Republican government of the college campus ended up winning because TPUSA funneled a ton of money into them. Now, that doesn't sound like a very democratic, fair election, does it?
Hey, do you have friends?
What relevance does that have to the conversation?
A lot. It's going to have a lot. Just trust us. Do you have friends?
No, I mean, can you explain it? Instead of just acting like you're cool?
No, it's gonna explain itself. Do you have friends?
I'm not answering that question. That's ridiculous. That has nothing to do with what I just said.
That's a no.
Okay. Yes or no. Yes or no.
All right.
Hey, is this Bryson, really? This is the level of discourse that we're at.
Go ahead,
the level of discourse we engage.
Go ahead, Pepper.
Do you have friends?
Go
ahead, Pepper.
Excuse me, Joel. It's now past 10 o'clock, and it's my show.
Right? Yes, sir.
Hey,
and first off, I want to warn you about your foul mouth. All right.
Yes. Are we talking?
You definitely win the argument if we're going to count the number of times you dropped an F-bomb and everything else. Okay, it's my show. Okay.
Are we talking?
No, I'm talking.
Oh.
All right.
Well, I'm talking too.
No, I'm talking.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
You need to do some research. Mm-hmm. You don't know diddly about what you're talking about.
No.
You're making a tremendous number of assumptions. And since this is my show and I didn't have you as my scheduled guest, thank you for showing up on Patriot Soapbox. Bryson, great deal. Great show.
Yes, sir.
And Joel, I think your mom's got some Hot Pockets for you.
I appreciate that. I should go check the freezer right now. I'll check in a second.
Yeah. The microwave is warmed up.
They better be pepperoni or else I'm going to be really mad.
I'm sure you will. Have a good day, Joel.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm about to go get this stuff started. About to go put some stuff on the grill. About to go have a wonderful day. Pop a couple cold ones, and I hope everybody have a good day.
All right. Man. You have a good one, Bryson.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy.
Joel, have a great day. Happy Memorial Day.
Likewise. Thank you.
All right. Hey, everybody. How you doing today? It's been what a wild and crazy morning. I'll tell you what. Some people's kids. Man, oh man. I can't believe it. That was incredible. And, you can always just throw out expletives and throw out, attack the person because you don't have the issues. You don't know the issues. This guy can't think, he doesn't think, 4 and 5, 6 levels deep. He has no concept of what's going on. And, he's definitely good at interrupting and talking, but I'll tell you what, he's accomplished at that. Anyway, thank you guys. I hope everybody's having a great Memorial Day weekend. You guys are awesome. You're absolutely awesome. And I really appreciate everybody being here this morning. You guys are fantastic. And, since it is Memorial Day weekend and everybody is out and about, I've got a couple of things planned for the show today.